Have you ever felt unworthy, unqualified, just not enough? You ever thought, why would God use me? Does he even want me? I'm sure all of us have had similar thoughts throughout our lifetime. Welcome to Refining Grace, where we're going to dig into the Word and find out God's response to those questions. In John chapter 6, Jesus was teaching the 5,000. They'd been there all day, they'd been quite a while, and the people were starting to get hungry. They hadn't ate. Jesus told his disciples to go feed them. Philip told him and said, Jesus, there's not even a town around here that's got enough food, even if we had the money to pay for it. Then Andrew came up and said, well, all we have is these 2 fish and 5 loaves that this lad brung, this little boy. Jesus took it and he blessed it. And he started tearing it apart and handing it to the disciples. When they got done, everybody had ate. Now, this is an amazing feat when you think 5,000 people. But the 5,000 people only included the men. They only counted the men at that time. So there would have been women and children there with them. So the actual number could have been anywhere between 15 and 20,000 easily. The act of feeding that many people is a daunting task. Passing it out and doing it, everything that needs to be done. And it was done with 5 loaves and 2 little fish. Those loaves of bread weren't even loaves of bread like we think. They were more like pita sour bread or tortilla size bread. Now, this little lad, I think about the gumption that he had to bring his meal to Jesus. Because when you look at, even if it was 5,000, what he had, there's no physical way that it could have fed anybody. But he still brought it. It wasn't enough. It didn't look like enough. There's no way it would go that way. But he still brought it. Maybe he was just bringing it for Jesus so Jesus could have something to eat. I don't know. But he still brought it, even though it wasn't enough. It doesn't matter if we think that we're enough or not. Because when God sees something in us, he placed it in us. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if we have the qualifications or if we've done this or we've done that, if we're older, if we're younger. Because when God qualifies us, he takes care of it all. You see, our offering may not be enough, but in the hands of the master, it will always be more than enough. Because just like when they went to pick up all the leftovers, there was 12 baskets full. Now those baskets were their equivalent of backpacks at that time, what they would have taken with them traveling, a day luggage. So 12 of those is a pretty decent amount of food that was left over when you consider that they only started with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. I always imagined that this little boy took it home and showed his mom, and his mom like, what in the world? Maybe they needed money. They could have sold that food and paid for what their bills. I don't know. The Bible doesn't really say what happened to it. That's just something I've always thought about. And it's something that's like God, that he will take care of us. So today it doesn't matter if you don't feel like you're not enough, because we don't do things in our ability. We do it in his ability. The little woman with the mite, everybody else was given big offerings, and she came up with a mite, a little bitty change. But Jesus called her out. He pointed her out because what she gave was everything. She gave her all. And 2,000 years later, we're still talking about her. May not know her name, but we know what she did. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Now, those are all things that God has commanded us to do, all things that He wants us to do. It doesn't matter if I have the qualifications. It matters if He's called me. Because if I step out in His strength, then it's going to get done. Because it's not my strength, it's His. It doesn't matter if I'm worthy, because in myself, I'll never be worthy enough. But in God, when I stand in Him, He makes me worthy with His worthiness. So today, if you're feeling unworthy, if you're feeling too little, know that you can step into Him, do things through Him, and He will always be more than enough. May God bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you and give you peace. Thank you.